August 8, 1963, Buckinghamshire, England. In the early hours of the morning, a Royal Mail train carrying millions of pounds in cash raced through the countryside. The money was destined for banks across Britain, protected by strict schedules and trusted to reach its destination without incident. But that night, the train suddenly came to a halt after a signal ahead turned red. It wasn't a mechanical failure, it was a trap. Within minutes, a carefully organized gang overwhelmed the crew, uncoupled the train, and disappeared with what was then the largest cash haul in British history. The robbery shocked the nation and became one of the most famous crimes ever committed. The Glasgow to London Royal Mail train transported huge amounts of cash every night. Unlike modern banking systems, physical banknotes had to be moved across the country by rail. On that August morning, the train was carrying more than 2.6 million pounds in used banknotes, the equivalent of tens of millions of pounds today. The criminals knew exactly which train to target, how much money it carried, and where it would be most vulnerable. Months of planning had transformed an ordinary overnight journey into the perfect opportunity for one of history's greatest robberies. The gang carefully tampered with railway signals, forcing the train to stop in an isolated stretch of countryside. Wearing masks and working with military-like precision, they quickly took control of the locomotive. Instead of stealing the entire train, they detached only the two carriages carrying the cash and moved them a short distance down the track. There, dozens of mail bags filled with banknotes were transferred into waiting vehicles. In less than an hour, the robbers vanished into the darkness, leaving investigators with one of the biggest crime scenes Britain had ever seen. The gang believed they had committed the perfect crime. They hid inside a remote farmhouse while dividing the money, convinced they had covered their tracks. But in their haste, they left behind fingerprints, food packaging, and everyday objects that detectives carefully examined. The evidence eventually led police to several members of the gang. Over the following months, arrests were made across Britain, while a few suspects escaped overseas. Much of the stolen money was never recovered, adding even more mystery to the case. The Great Train Robbery transformed British law enforcement and railway security. It inspired books, documentaries, films, and countless investigations into one of the most daring robberies ever carried out. More than 60 years later, it remains a symbol of meticulous planning, bold execution, and one of the most unforgettable crimes in modern history. The story continues to fascinate people around the world, proving that sometimes reality is even more extraordinary than fiction. The Great Train Robbery wasn't just about stealing millions of pounds. It was a crime that captured the world's imagination and became part of history. If you enjoyed this documentary, subscribe for more true stories about history's greatest heists, mysteries, and unbelievable crimes.